Hello, this is Michael Rubin, and we've been talking about playing the C chromatic in third position, the key of D, by not pressing in the button. And I just want to tell you, this is the last video before we start talking about pressing the button. So we're going to take a big change starting on the next video. But for right now, you know, all these slaps that we're doing where you get a chord and then you place your tongue on the harmonica and get either a single note or two notes with your surrounding your tongue. All these slaps can be preceded by a tongue articulation. So I'm going to draw into 4 draw, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to play 1, 2, 3, 4 draw, and then slap onto 4 draw. It's almost like I'm saying ah, and then slapping. But now I'm going to begin by saying ta. Sorry. Right? So it's a different thing. It sounds a little different, right? So now I'm going to say ta-ta or ta-ka. It's a little different. Ta-ta and ta-ka are a little different. Or ta-ka-ta. Right? So you can do this, in my opinion, fairly easily into single notes. But to do it into an octave is more challenging. So I'm going to draw into 1 and 5 draw and play the octave D. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm opening my mouth wide enough for 5 holes, right? So when I do a slap, I do holes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I slap my tongue on and get 1 and 5. Which is challenging enough. But for some reason, which I think I know why, to tongue articulate and say ta or ta-ta, and then get the octave, it's very challenging. And I think this is what's going on. Width is my word for the opening of your mouth from your cheek to your cheek. So when you smile, that's a big width. Well, the standard tongue block width is 4 holes, and that's pretty big, especially on a chromatic, which is slightly bigger than the diatonic. But an octave on the chromatic, that's a 5-hole spread. That's really wide, right? And I think that, at least for me personally, my natural tendency when I say ta is to have a smaller width. And so what I have to do is say ta here, and then as quick as I can, widen to get the octave. I think you can see it. I'll say ta-ta, and then watch my sides of my mouth. You can see my lips are getting wider. So to me, it's a very difficult move. It's certainly not impossible, but there's kind of a slowness to it, which is not necessarily a bad sound. One of the coolest things I ever heard was, I don't know if you're aware of the harmonica player Hook Herrera. Anyway, Hook, shout out to him, kind of just followed me geographically throughout the world. You know, I mean, everywhere I went, he would show up. I lived in Northern California, I lived in Austin, and you know, I was in New Orleans for a while, and then I was in New York for a while, and he just was always there, you know. And anyway, he's a great player. But he's got this thing where he'll do slaps into single notes on a diatonic, but it's a little slower than normal. And in my opinion, it sounds awesome. It's a great sound. So I'm not saying this tongue articulation into an octave is impossible, and I'm not saying that you can't do it quickly. But this is what I experience. Now, on the flip side, you can also say ta as you lift from a single note into a chord. So I'm going to do 4 draw with my tongue on 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to take my tongue off and play 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to say ta. Right? Or ta-ta. Or taka. and takata, right? So you can do that with octaves as well. So let's turn on Band in the Box. Excuse me, not Band in the Box, YouTube. Get a blues in the key of D. And just do some tongue articulations into slaps and lifts and octaves. And see what we can do. Give me a second. All right. So hopefully you're starting to be able to get a feel for playing in the key of D without pushing in the button, and starting to improve your octaves and your tongue articulations into them after this video, and all the different ideas about slaps. Hopefully it's coming together. And just know that next time we're going to start talking about pushing in the button. And you know, I give lessons via Skype and blah blah blah. I think there's rumor that Ronnie Shellis and I are going to be doing a like a live video thing pretty soon. And yeah, so check out michaelrubinharmonica.com. Thanks very much.